going.
Baby out.
Good, because, well, I wanted some Sweeney Todd talk
It wasn't
on the
going,
Sweeney
just
Pod.
started.
Well, now it's going. But, yeah, there's a movie. It came out, I want to say, circa 2006. That's my call for the Sweeney Todd film.
Let me see.
I'm not even
Don't even try.
Fucking typing. God damn it.
Nope, you were wrong. You fucking idiot.
What was it?
2007.
What did I say? 2006.
6.
Pretty close.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, buddy.
And guessing.
When you're guessing years,
Price
you have
is Right.
365
Price is Right.
possible days to pick from. Like, you know what I mean? Like, guessing years is a wide range. You should be able to get a year right, you idiot.
I completely disagree. So we're not guessing the day of the year.
I know,
I'm just
but
guessing the year.
There's 365 days in which that movie could have came out in a year.
I don't think I'm going to be doing this analogy correctly, but this is to me what you're saying. I've got 2 water bottles. Each of them is full of jelly beans. And one of them's got a gold-colored jelly bean inside of it, right? And you're saying that because there's only 2 water bottles, like... No, that's not what you're saying. See, I knew I was going to fuck this up. But don't you get what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
Like, you should
what
know
I'm saying makes
which
sense.
one the gold jelly bean is because of the amount of jelly beans. This is really getting away
this
from
sucks.
me. Jelly bean math, I can't do.
It would be like,
Yeah.
let's say there's 3 water bottles, okay, and they're all full of jelly beans. All right, 3 water bottles full of jelly beans, okay.
Yeah.
I should be able to pick, like, hey, there's jelly beans in this water bottle. Like, that's kind of more closer to what it was, because I'm saying a year is a long time range.
Right.
Long time, right? 365 days in a year.
You're longer than month.
Yes.
Longer than week.
So
Week,
you should be able to
longer than day.
pinpoint what year a movie came out in, because a year is 365 days long.
But there's only 104 days of summer vacation.
School comes around just to end it.
Getting caught in my trap of my own design.
It is. I forget now. Like, I've been out of the game long enough to where I forget, like, that's like college started this week.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then like school, like regular school. Because even when I was in college, and I knew when college started, but I forgot when like school starts. You know, our mother was a teacher, so I would be like, oh, she's going back to school now. Like, you could have told me school already started. You could tell me it starts next year. It doesn't. I wouldn't know the difference.
I always hated when school started on Tuesday.
Well, I feel like it always starts after Labor Day.
Yeah, but it would always start after Labor Day, but sometimes it would start the Wednesday after, and then sometimes it would start the Tuesday after. And I think 4 days for the first week of school was just too much.
I think the whole like school calendar thing is totally made up.
It's all
like, I don't think they actually know how many days beforehand. I think they're like, oh, we're gonna start on this day and end on this day, and then they count the days and they're like, fuck.
The superintendent's just staring at 2 water bottles full of jelly beans.
And he's like, shit, like, I didn't give us enough. And like, also, again, telecommunications, pre-COVID, like, they were always like, oh, we can't have a snow day. There's not enough days left.
Yeah, that sucked.
Fuck does that mean? What happens if there's a lot of snow? How are you going to say that? Like, you know, how are you going to tell us we can't?
Yeah. What are we going to do?
And also, like, on the first day of school, do you know when the last day of school starts? That's more what I should say. I think they wait till, like, the 4th quarter to be like, this is the day we're going to end.
No, they know.
No, I don't think so. I think they have a loose idea. June.
Yeah, June.
Yeah.
We got something in this area.
Yeah.
We'll let them go, but we won't tell
them.
And
then they're like, oh, we're gonna end this day. Exams start after that. Like,
yeah, exams, regents.
The regents exams.
Busting in for the regents exams.
You bust in for regents?
Yeah. Before I could drive, you had to, dude. You don't remember bussing in for a regents?
Nah. I didn't know you took regents. I thought you took regents like only in 11th and 12th grade. I don't really have a memory of taking regents
all the
younger
way
than
through,
that.
baby. There's an
grinding
algebra.
regents?
There's an algebra regents. You didn't take like
Buddy,
advanced math, right?
like yeah, I did.
Did you really?
Yeah, 7th. Can I say the teacher's name?
I
7th
don't
grade
give
with
a
the
shit.
teacher that lived not far from us.
I don't know.
Or no, eighth grade. Was it 8th grade? No, it was 7th grade. And then you took 8th grade algebra.
Yeah.
9th grade,
Yeah.
you took
Geometry.
10th grade, you took trig.
Right. So for me, everything
11th
was
grade,
like
you took pre-calc.
pushed a year.
Senior year, choose your own adventure.
Right, and you did stats.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did take stats.
Right.
But I also had to take. No, I took stats in 11. I don't fucking know. I must have took stats in 12th grade.
Yeah, for sure.
When did I? But I also had to take trig prep because I still hadn't passed trig.
Hell yeah, trig prep. I liked that class though. I was asked to do advanced math in 7th grade,
Yeah.
but I knew that my teacher was like gonna move up with us, and we just did not. I did not care for this woman, so I had to say no.
Is it?
No, it's
teacher?
not. It's not. You wouldn't know her.
Oh, see that, but that's not how it worked for me because we had You had a 6th grade pod, and then
Yeah.
you left your 6th grade pod for a 7th and 8th grade pod, and then you had the same like pod. Remember you were in pods,
I hated.
right?
being
You were in pods.
I
correct?
wasn't. I was in pods.
So you had it, but how does a teacher move pods?
Brother, I don't know how the pod system works. I've been out of the
I
pod
know.
game for a long time.
Yeah, I was on pace for academic excellence at a young age.
Yeah.
Took earth science in 8th grade,
Yep.
and that I took advanced math, algebra, advanced math 7th grade, algebra and earth science in 8th grade, geometry, and then what was the other science?
Chemistry.
Biology.
Oh, biology.
Took biology in 9th grade.
Yeah, everybody takes biology in 9th grade.
And then you take
And then
you take chemistry in 10th
grade instead of earth
instead
science.
of earth science.
Yeah.
Chemistry.
I'm glad this has become an academic podcast.
Was there a chemistry regents exam?
Yeah, there was because I failed it by 1 point.
I must have passed it.
I watched so many Hank Green videos
Yeah, dude.
to try and do that chemistry exam. It just didn't hit.
Can
for
I
me.
pull somebody pull my transcript? I want to know.
Yeah, let me get a transcript real quick, please.
And then in 11th grade, I took AP biology.
Cool.
Smart guy.
Yeah, I was done with science by then. I had 3 lunches
No,
in
because
11th grade.
you took exercise physiology.
I took that my senior year.
Me too. That's
right.
science
That's
class.
right.
So fuck you. You were
Yeah.
done with science.
I was done with science, but science wasn't done with me. Little
Hell yeah,
did I
brother.
know.
Hell
Little
yeah.
did I know. Science had just gotten in. I'm glad we went through that little academic history.
Why?
I don't know. Just because.
Okay.
Just because it's a good segue
What
to
was the
now
best?
move off
What
it.
was the best? What was the best?
Best regents?
No. What was the best class you took in college? You went to
Like the
state
most
school
fun
though. You went
class?
to fake college.
I also went for communications, which is a fake degree.
I wasn't gonna say it.
So I did. I mean, yeah, college was like the easiest experience of my life.
You had to take accounting though.
I did take. Yeah, I took accounting.
How was
which
that?
was fine.
What was your? So you didn't have like any? Never mind. I don't know.
I liked the philosophy class I took. Obviously, I wish I had. You know, I feel like a lot of people take one philosophy class and wish that they had like gotten into it more, but they're so focused on their major and things like that it gets away from them. But that's the problem with the education system.
I
as
had
a
to take
whole,
2
you know what I'm
philosophy
saying?
classes.
Oh, really?
Philosophy 101, and then you had to pick and choose one. I took social and political philosophy, 274. Shout out Dr. Chanderban. He was on Jeopardy a couple years after I graduated.
Dang.
Great class. Lot of Iron Curtain talk. I don't even remember really at this point what the Iron Curtain was, but when you're talking philosophy, you're either on one side of the curtain or the other, brother. And let me tell you, you're on the wrong side.
The Iron Curtain, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was the invisible wall separating East and West Berlin?
No, that was the Berlin Wall.
Well, yeah, but I thought the Iron Curtain was like part of that. Emily, go ahead. Emily's picking.
Emily, what's the Iron Curtain?
I wish.
The Iron Curtain is like, it is an invisible line, but it's just like where the USSR stopped. Like,
wait a minute. So
like
what am I thinking?
Communist nations and.
So am I talking about the right thing then?
I mean, I can see how that would be in a philosophy
100%.
class. Yeah.
I gotta look
The
it
Berlin Wall separated.
I mean, it was a
East and
social
West
and political.
Germany,
It was social and political philosophy.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I thought there was more metaphor behind it.
Well, I think it was like the Iron Curtain. It like, you couldn't necessarily get information like in and out between those countries, and like,
Yeah.
people
a
were
heavy
just straight
curtain.
up like separated.
Right.
Yeah, an impenetrable barrier to communication or information, especially as imposed by rigid censorship and security. Maybe?
No, that's definitely the Iron Curtain.
That sounds philosophical.
Is there another kind of curtain that is there another curtain
the mesh curtain.
behind?
It was like, we kind of get along. We're not
I think
each other.
I'm making myself sound like a real moron right now.
I
I'm
don't know.
starting
I think you're worried about that, and that's what's making you sound bad. But you got it, man. Trust in yourself. You nailed it.
I think I'm thinking of something else, man. I really do. Can I get the sticks?
Please, for
Do
the
some
love of
Googling?
God, don't let me near that.
No,
thing.
I don't need that for now. I just need to do some Googling.
All right.
Don't show the screen while I Google because I'm gonna have to do some research. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
That was T. Roosevelt.
Yeah, I know. Shout out Teddy. What else you got on your list while I Google this? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Not too much. I've been taking a real easy. Well, that's not true, but I have been getting back into movies actually recently. I think I've finally gotten over my like COVID pandemic thing of like not being able to watch like heavy movies and things like that. So I watched Cape Fear for the first time. I rewatched No Country for Old Men. A couple of incredible films right there. I went on a huge Hanks kick. I watched what was that? What's that great one? Oh, I watched The Green Mile, which was awesome. I watched Castaway.
Great movie.
Also crazy. And I watched Apollo 13, which is so good. I was sitting in my living room watching it by myself, and I clapped at the end of it because they brought those boys home. That's how you make a movie. Another Ron Howard, by the way.
I think this is what I was thinking of.
The Veil of Ignorance.
I don't know, dude. Now the word veil sounds more prevalent than
The Iron Veil.
Dude, maybe veil.
Veil of Ignorance, man. It's gotta be.
If
Veil of Ignorance is what's coming up, I think that's what you found.
I think I'm thinking of let me look at what is the Veil of Ignorance. Let me do that.
Why wouldn't you just Google Veil of Ignorance? I
just
mean, you
wanna
still
know
did
what
it faster
is.
than I would have.
That helps people consider how to design a fair society by imagining they don't know their personal circumstances. The idea is that being ignorant of their own circumstances, people can more objectively consider how society should operate. And this is definitely what I was thinking of, the veil of ignorance, which makes me ignorant. I am the veil, folks. I was talking about the fucking Iron Curtain like a dumbass. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
So
The veil hiding. So it's like, yeah, John Rawls. This is definitely a theory of. This is definitely what it was. Can be used as a tool to evaluate fairness and impartiality of societal structures and institutions, and to encourage the establishment of a more equitable, just, and compassionate world. That's definitely what it was.
hold on, let me read some more of that. Stop flipping around.
A little bit of
Veil of ignorance involves hiding facts about people, society, and their own views, preferences, and moral and political beliefs. For example, people might not know their gender, race, wealth, strengths, and weaknesses, or facts about society's organization. They might also not know what kind of person they'll be in the society, such as whether they'll be black, white, in a wheelchair, straight, gay, born into a wealthy family, or living in extreme poverty.
So it's like So it's like
It's like blank slate.
Yeah, the point of it was like if you know, but you'll
tabula
never be
rasa.
able to. You'll never be able to create that society because there'll always
A
be
true
societal norms. Yeah.
right.
So the veil of
unbiased
ignorance was
society.
Yeah, now I remember somewhat of it. Shout out.
That's cool.
Philosophy 274, good class. Take it.
That's cool, man.
I almost retained some of the information.
I mean, there's
I got there, didn't I?
Veil of Ignorance, Iron Curtain. They're close. They're really close.
I think you're saying that sarcastically, but I
I get it.
think
There's an
that-
eye in both of them. There's an eye word
veil
above them,
and
a
a
veil
curtain.
and a curtain. That's kind of the same thing.
ignorance.
Ignorance,
Iron.
iron. It all, it all
Shut
makes
up,
a
dude,
strong
shut
boy.
You shut your mouth.
Oh man.
Emily, have you heard of the veil of ignorance?
In passing.
In passing, just the kind of crowds I hang
Yeah,
around.
no, she ain't never heard of that shit.
Take philosophy.
I could tell. Didn't know shit about the veil.
Well, to be fair, you kind of didn't either.
I knew enough about it. I knew that it existed. I just didn't remember what it
I
was
knew
called.
it was a thing. I knew there was something out there.
I knew there was a veil or there was some type of cloth that was covering us from getting to the other side.
I wouldn't ask for another.
And how about you saying, isn't the veil of like a geographic line? I'm like, nah.
The Iron
idiot.
Curtain? No, the
Yeah.
Iron Curtain was an
No,
invisible line.
I know, but you were like, isn't the Iron Curtain an invisible line? I was like, nah, you stupid, dude. That's not
You
what it is.
dumbass.
Yeah.
It's a real Iron Curtain hung by God.
And then when Emily
does
said
his
it, I
hand
was like,
puppet shows.
shit, I might be,
Thank God.
that's all right.
That's why we have somebody else in here.
So we can cut that part of the
Yeah, so we can cut
podcast.
pretty much. We can start the show probably right now, I would say. Keep all the Sweeney Todd stuff in.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd's Veil of Ignorance. Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting Sweeney Todd's Veil of Ignorance. Ding-a-dong. Folks, I wanted to let you know that part 2 of my guest episode on the Fine Dining podcast is up on YouTube right now, so make sure you check that out. If you watch part 1, you know what a blast it was. And, of course, I really appreciate my buddy Mike having me on to talk about Perkins because it was a lot of fun. And that guy's always got something in the works, including his latest promotion that they're doing over there. This guy is a content machine. He's a segment machine. And what he's got going for the next month is Septemburger. The Fine Dining Podcast's annual $500 burger bracket competition is here, and you could be the winner of said 500 big ones. That's what blows me away. $500. Just $500 cash for doing this bracket. It's like a March Madness style type thing. You got In-N-Out versus Whataburger, Shake Shack versus White Castle, Raleigh's versus Steak and Shake, Culver's versus Freddy's Frozen Custard. The Fine Dining Podcast scoured the country for these burgers, and even if you've never had them before, head on over to linktree.com/fine dining podcast to fill out your bracket. It's a Google form, but check out the Septemburger kickoff episode on September 4th before you submit to get the first 2 matches answered for you for free. Brackets are due by the end of the day, September 10th. Septemburger 10th, I mean. Follow along the rest of the month and get that $500, people. That's linktree.com/fine dining podcast. That's how you can go do something nice for Mike. Support him over there. He's a great guy. If you want to do some supporting for us, some supporting over this way, you can check out the Patreon page. That's Snackspot, or it's patreon.com/Snackspot. We've got a lot of great episodes of the Captions On podcast on there where we were going through all the Disney Channel originals. We had the short-lived Bad Directions podcast, which is a sight to see. But the good news is, the best part to support us, it's only $3 a month, baby. So go ahead, subscribe to that Patreon. Link is going to be in the episode description. That's patreon.com/snackspot. Back to school is right here, folks. All right, and that means people's schedules are getting a whole lot busier. All right, kids got to be running around doing this, doing that. Okay, folks don't have the regular time to kick back like they do in the summer. All right, but the good news is you can still make things a little easier on yourself when you use Instacart. Because with Instacart, you can get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. If that's not good enough for you, listen to this. The best part is that right now, 2 in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link in this episode description, make the smart choice, and start using Instacart today. Folks, if you want to do something else to support the show, you can actually do something that is nice for you. Nice for yourself. Check out all of the great merch that we have got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Hoodies, t-shirts, bucket hats, mugs, slides, fanny packs, notebooks, water bottles, notebooks. I already said that, but they're so great, okay? Stuff not just for the show, but also for Quested and Schemin' and Dreamin'. So be sure to hit the link in this episode description or go check it out for yourself at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. And if you're interested in advertising on this show or our twin show, Schemin' and Dreamin', you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. You know, podcast advertising has been shown to be 19% effective. I've said that many times. Forbes has reported that. There's a few reasons for that. I think the host-read ads is the biggest one, but whatever the case, you can see its effectiveness in the way that the market has fluctuated with companies like McDonald's and State Farm and NASCAR doing advertisements on podcasts. It's kind of crazy that, you know, companies of that size with ad budgets like that, you know, that they're doing spots on the Super Bowl and things are moving into podcasting. And it's really cool to see them move away from your more traditional advertising, TV or newspapers or, you know, bus ads. I don't know whatever people do. But the problem is there still hasn't really been any room, any area for smaller or even local businesses to get in on the action of podcast advertising, to see why these larger companies are making the move. But that's what we are here for. That's what we're all about. So if you're interested in advertising on any of these shows, again, reach out to us. Hit us up at snackspotsports@gmail.com. Yeah, I don't have too much. I've just been so busy watching movies. I haven't.
Yeah, so I didn't listen to
anything.
any of the movies you said, except for I tuned in at Castaway.
Castaway. I want to do Wilson the volleyball and who would win so bad. Dude, that's emotional.
Wilson.
Anybody making fun of Wilson in that movie, like, oh, he talks to a volleyball. Why don't you come knock on my door, huh? Because I got a present for you right here.
I don't think anybody watches that movie and thinks like, look at this idiot talking to a volleyball.
They better fucking not. They better fucking not.
What anybody's ever done.
Also, watching that movie, I realized how terrible I would be if I got stranded on an island, because he, you know, he does all this. He has all this knowledge about traveling and things like that, but he's on the island for 4 years, and he lives in this cave, and there's like a little sun, you know, natural kind of like sunlight basically that comes through, and he uses that to tell like the time of year based on like where the sun is every day. That wouldn't even cross my mind. And like that's how he gets off the island. He's like, he's talking to Wilson. He's like, Wilson, if we can build our raft so that it's ready by this time of the year, then the currents will be less and we might be able to get off of it. And that's the only way he gets off that island. He pushes out, and that would never get to me. And then what else does he do? There's stuff with the coconuts. I mean, that's obvious. That's like Deserted Island 101. You know you got to find some coconuts. You know you got to go for it. The spear fishing as well. Like, he makes an okay life for himself. But I think I could survive. But if I wanted to get back into society, couldn't do it. Here's my biggest problem with that movie. Or not my problem, but here's what I forgot. So, you know, the plane goes down, and he, like, is going to get engaged to that woman. I don't know if the last time you saw it, if you remember it.
Yeah, I don't.
But so this is the deal. So he and Helen Hunt are like super in love, and then he's like, I got to go, you know, one last ride for FedEx or whatever. He's got to go to this island. Plane crashes. He's the lone survivor, completely alone on this desert island. No way to communicate with anyone. No way home. After 4 years, finally, he gets saved, goes back to society. when he gets back to the States, she's married to somebody else and has a kid already, like a 1-year-old kid. Now, maybe I'm being a little too crazy about this, but for me, if I was deeply in love with someone and I got cast away, for me, 4 years is like the limit. Like, after 4 years, I'll start hitting the dating scene again. This woman already has like a 1-year-old child and is married. 4 years. That's, I got to tell you, I don't think that's that long. I'm just saying for me.
I think it's impossible to put yourself in those shoes because there was no survivors. So, like, they obviously assume he's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she was grieving for a little bit, then met somebody that helped her grieving process by finding love again type scenario. And I feel like the older you are, like, the more acceptable it is to just, like, date for, like, a shorter amount of time and then get married or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you're already however old, so you got to start bearing children.
Yeah, those eggs aren't
your childbearing years are running slim.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I mean, you're right. It makes sense, but I was like, God damn, 4? Because
4 years is a long time.
Because they cut to the scene, though, where she's like, she's getting the call that they found him, like, he's alive. And she's at the breakfast table with this guy and this baby. And I'm just like, it's just because we've been with him on that island for the whole movie.
Yeah, so you're more attached to him than you are to her. So you're like, how could he wrong? How could she wrong my boy right now?
When it's really not her fault.
Yeah, he's been making love to a volleyball for the past 4 years.
His and Wilson's relationship was not sexual. There's no way. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You're telling me in 4 years you didn't think about doing that volleyball one time?
No. First of all, where's he going to put it?
I think just
rub his balls on it until complete. Just rub your balls on this volleyball till completion. That's like his weird kink now that he's home. Oh my God, dude! I watched The Deer Hunter. Also, have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's pretty intense.
But I don't know if I love this transition.
Well, it's just crazy because it's kind of like a Vietnam version of this great movie that I love called The Best Years of Our Lives, which is about like World War II vets getting reintroduced to society. And that's what happens with this one, but these guys went to Vietnam. And Christopher Walken's character gets addicted to playing Russian roulette, and it's awesome. It's crazy. It's hard to watch. It's insane. I mean, this guy is fully pushed to the edge of, like, being a human.
When you say addicted, how often is he playing? How long does he last being addicted, I guess is a better question.
Well, brother, watch the movie.
I think you can spoil it, I'll be honest.
So what happens is, I don't want to spoil it for anybody listening necessarily.
Spoiler alert.
I don't want to spoil it for Emily either.
Emily's not going to watch it.
It's not that big. I mean, whatever. But I just feel so bad about spoiling Dune that one time. You know what I mean? I don't want any repeats. So it's like this group of friends, and Christopher Walken's like a gambling addict, like he's a sports betting addict before they go to Vietnam, and then they get captured, right? They're prisoners of war, and the guards make them play Russian roulette so that the guards can like bet on it with each other. So then they get saved. Christopher Walken, they go to like a hospital, and Christopher Walken's trying to get like rehabilitated and stuff, but he ends up leaving and going back to Saigon and like finding these underground, games, the way that somebody would do like cockfighting, but it's Russian roulette. So they have like, they have these guys.
So was he addicted to playing it or gambling?
He's addicted to playing it. They have like, there's this room is like packed. Again, it's exactly like a cockfight, right? Like guys like yelling, shaking money. Yeah, and then they have the two players each wear these red bandanas and sit down across from each other, and then they have like this referee, I guess, and he
loads the gun,
and and
and you play like till somebody shoots themselves, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, how long does his streak go?
Well, so what happens is Robert De Niro, who is also in the movie, he goes to visit one of their friends who is in a VA hospital, and that guy's like, he opens his drawer, and it's full of cash. And he's like, this money's been being sent to me from Saigon. Like, what's the deal? And right away, Robert De Niro's like, fuck, it's Chris Walken. Like, he's back at it. He's playing his game. And and I don't remember what the question you just asked me was, but
how long does he last without, like, because if it's, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're gambling on Russian roulette, again, I've never gambled on Russian roulette, but here's how I'm going to assume that it works. There's two people playing, and you bet on one or the other, and somebody has to win.
And I think it could probably get more intricate because it's like how many times, because they, like I said, they respin the barrel every time. So sometimes it'll be like.
So that is an element that you didn't add originally because eventually.
I think I mentioned it.
No, you didn't say they respin it every time.
I might have.
Like, so I go, you go, respin. I go, you go, respin. I go, you go, respin.
No, I go, respin. You go, respin.
Oh, so your odds are even. I was thinking like spin, I go, you go, nobody goes. I go again.
Yeah.
And then if it's a 6-shooter, then you've got 4 chambers left. And then if it comes back to you, you got 3. Like, but still, I would assume you have to play until somebody gets shot in the face.
That's what it seemed to be. Yeah. And it is.
So that's still a good run if you're able to send multiple rounds of money back.
Like that drawer was full of cash, and obviously it'd been.
I'm sure you're making a lot of money doing it.
Fuck yeah!
I don't think it's.
You gotta. It's high stakes.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro tracking him down. Because he's got to go.
I was like, brother,
I'm looking for because he goes to.
I'm looking for a guy who just wants to shoot himself.
Yeah,
in the
he's
face.
like, where's the white guy who like plays Russian roulette? And the guy's like, no, I'm not gonna take it to him. Then Robert De Niro pulls out like the most cash I've ever seen, and the guy's like, all right, I know where he is. Because money talks, baby.
And he's sitting there just. When he walks in, is he mid-game?
No.
When De Niro walks in, no. Does he go back and does Walken go back and play again after seeing De Niro for the first time?
Yeah.
Does he end up shooting himself in the head?
Yeah. What happens is De Niro tracks him down, and then Christopher Walken is a shell of a man. His whole life is just the ultimate thrill, the ultimate high of playing this Russian roulette game. So he sees De Niro, and he kind of, at first, it's almost like he doesn't register who he is, because obviously the guy's so traumatized from being a POW also. And then he's just kind of like, get the fuck out of here. And Robert De Niro is like, okay, you know what? I'm going to fucking play. So Robert De Niro buys his way to go to play Russian roulette with this guy, and he almost gets him back. Like, between every click of the trigger, De Niro like is trying to convince him to like get the fuck out of here with them, and he almost gets him back. It's almost like the end of.
So De Niro's playing too?
Yeah, De Niro's playing too.
So De Niro missed ones, and he's like, "Please, you don't have to do this." Bang, blows his head off.
Yeah, Walken goes, no bullet. Obviously, the guy's fucking
he's
the king of the game. Yeah.
Spin.
Respin, De Niro, click, nothing.
What was De Niro doing in that moment? Was Walken like, you shouldn't be playing this game?
No, he was like,
he's so dialed. He's so invested in the game.
Exactly, he's
like,
dialed in.
Blow your head
he's
off.
He's watching. He's like, trying to, what's this guy's deal? Can he measure up? And it's almost like the end of. Have you seen Shutter Island?
Yes.
You know how at the end it's like, oh shit, Leo knows what he's doing. Like, he's getting lobotomized. On purpose. It's almost like that.
Because he's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like that with Christopher Walken, where it's like, oh, this guy maybe has come back to his senses in this moment now, but he thinks he's so entrapped in this game, this addiction, this trauma, that it doesn't even matter to him at that point. And then he does it, and it's Meryl Streep's also in that movie. It's
De Niro wins the pot though, huh?
I mean, the next scene is him flying home on a private jet. So I don't.
Yeah. 2 Saigonians on his hip.
Oh yeah, those Saigon women. Me love you long time. Straight up, Full Metal Jacket. I'm gonna rewatch that one too recently. You ever see that movie?
Yes.
That one, Bill Black. When we were in high school, he was like, "Dude, have you ever seen Full Metal Jacket?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Oh, we gotta watch it. It's fucking hilarious. And he's just telling me about like the very beginning when they're in the barracks and stuff, and
when they're
I guess
guys being dudes.
Yeah, and like I guess some of that is maybe funny, but not really.
When he said that to you, had he watched the whole movie yet, or did he only watch
he
like
must
the first
have.
five?
It seemed like he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's Bill, so maybe he was fucking with me. But so we made this big plan to go over to Jake's house and watch it there over the weekend, and we start it, and then they beat the fuck out of that guy with soap in the socks, which is like, okay, that's not necessarily what I was expecting. Then he fucking kills himself, and then the rest of the movie happens. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I haven't watched that one since that first time because it's emotionally devastating. But now, because of this run that I'm on of flicks, I feel like I'm ready to go.
Want to know what movie you should work in there?
Please.
Without Remorse. I think that's the name of it. Google it.
Okay, give me 5 minutes. Vamp for 5 minutes.
What's Vamp?
Like, talk like.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Without Remorse. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. This is like too recent for the current
Did you see the name of it?
run that I'm on. Yeah, Without Remorse.
No, click on the IMDb.
What about it?
It doesn't have the full name.
Oh, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse.
Tom
It says it on
Clancy's
the
Without Remorse,
poster
baby.
right there.
Dude, sick movie.
Yeah, I know you've talked about this.
I know,
one
and I
before,
want you to
believe.
watch it because you refuse to watch it because it's Tom Clancy, but it's really good.
I mean, maybe at some point I will watch it, but I'm just not. Especially now.
I thought there was another one coming out. I think we did this on the podcast once before.
Oh, I have no doubt. All that Rainbow Six jazz.
Yeah.
All that Tom Clancy bull.
I might watch that movie tonight. Sick movie.
Michael B. Jordan, still a great actor.
Yeah. Guess. And do you follow his origin story?
From like The Wire to Friday Night Lights. Yeah, he was in the first season of The Wire. One of my favorite characters from that
I didn't know
season.
that. Dude, him and Friday Night Lights is electric though. I don't remember his name.
Did he
was
he
quarterback.
there in the first season of that
Nope.
show? Okay,
He doesn't come in until like the 4th season.
Man, I remember when you were on that show watching
I
it.
still
all the
am on
time.
that show. I just rewatched it like
Did you really?
a month ago. Yeah.
No way.
It's a great show. It's a great throw-on show.
Sure.
Like when I say rewatched it, like
It was just.
I would I would throw it on if I was doing something. Great show. There's a lot of shit about that show that pisses me off. Julie Taylor, I think I've decided, is one of my least favorite characters of that show. Actually, so there's 4 Taylors in the show.
Yeah. What the coach is the
Eric
one,
Taylor.
right? Okay.
Eric Taylor, beauty. Love Eric Taylor. Julie Taylor, I hate as a person
Okay.
in the show. Tammy Taylor, the mother, is also the fucking worst. And everybody loves her because she's supposed to be like this, super passionate educator that wants to, change children's lives. Dude. And this is why I feel a little bit bad about saying this, because I don't know the actress that plays Tammy Taylor, and I don't know if this is an accent or not, but her voice and the way that she talks and her mannerisms are the fucking worst, dude.
I don't think it's an accent because I'll look her up right now, but I believe I know you're the actress who plays
I
her.
hate her, dude. I hate her face.
And
I
she's
hate
been in a
everything
lot.
about her.
She was on the other big thing that she did was a show called Nashville with
Is that her?
Hayden Panettiere. Let me see.
She was just on the screen.
Oh, I missed it, dude. Okay, I want to do my due diligence, a full search.
You want to do diligence?
Yeah, I want to do diligence dirty. Yeah, her. Yeah, she was. I don't think it's an accent. I think that's. I mean, maybe she's.
You
so
want to know
good
who
at
she
it,
reminds me of?
but
Kind of is she's what the fuck is not Barefoot Contessa? What's the other one?
Giada.
Giada. She is Giada. That's who she reminds me of, and it
she
drives
is
me
Giada.
up a wall. The 4th Taylor, they have a baby in the 4th season or 3rd season or something like that. I got no qualms with the baby. Baby's fine in my book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Baby Taylor. Baby Taylor's all right. Gets a pass.
What's the baby's name? I don't know. But
Tammy too.
I do not like Tammy, and I really hate Julie's character. Because Julie was, like, awesome, like, super nice girl. And then she goes on this rampage of, like, bangs her married TA, then drops out of college because the TA's wife comes and lights her up, like, in front of the whole class.
Jesus.
And then she tries to go and join, like,
Peace Corps or some shit?
like the without homes for Habitat for Humanity type shit.
Yeah.
And then she starts banging the guy that's running Habitat for Humanity. She's just banging her way around town.
Listen,
Which, like,
man.
listen, I got no problem with. But like the character arc of her in the show was like she starts as this, like, she dates this kid Matt Saracen, and, like, Matt Saracen's stand-up guy. Matt Saracen does some things wrong, but Matt Saracen's also, I don't know. That's all I got.
She's got, she's a young woman, Matthew. She's got to find herself in the world. She can't be defined. In high school, she was Matt Saracen's girlfriend. She's got to figure out who she is.
But that's
she's
what I mean.
more
That's
than
not
that.
how. That's not how they were. Like, dude, honestly, that show, I gotta say, goes on long enough to where you start to hate everybody in it. It's like one of those shows,
Like Gilmore Girls.
like
For me,
yeah,
at least.
yeah.
I
Like,
fucking.
it's not even that long. I think it's only 5 seasons. Maybe it's 6
Yeah.
seasons. But, like, enough happens in the show where you flip flop on damn near everybody.
Yeah. I couldn't even.
Except
I know what
for
you're saying.
I always liked Coach Taylor, and then I also Tim Riggins does a lot of bad shit, but he doesn't pretend to be a guy doing good shit.
He don't want to be anybody other than what he's been trying to be lately.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Also, on the show topic, 2 things. One, first of all, I wanted to say this before we got off movies. Friend of the show, Noah Asklar.
Yep.
Must have been going back through some previous episodes.
Yeah.
And he texted me last week. Dude, Never Back Down is a top 10 film of all time. I don't care what anybody says. The soundtrack is so good.
Best of luck. Best of luck to him.
And Noah's a movie guy. He then goes on to say, there's something about that movie. It's amazing. It's one of the few movies I've seen like 5+ times and enjoy it every time.
Wow.
No joke, might be the best movie soundtrack of all time.
Jesus Christ.
And you tried to knock me for talking about how good Never Back Down was.
Yeah, because it looks terrible.
Honestly, look up the soundtrack. I couldn't tell you a single song that was in it, but Noah thinks the soundtrack is good. I just thought the movie was unreal. Never Back Down soundtrack. I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately.
Who sings that one? Teenagers, Slam. My Chemical Romance, dislike. Never was.
Crank That by Rockstar.
Yeah, okay. I figured it'd be shit like this.
Yeah.
Just stuff that I'm not into. No offense. No offense to the producers.
Jeez, was that you vibrating over there?
Hell yeah.
Jeez, you got a fantasy draft going on?
No, tomorrow, actually. And I'm going to do
I had
pretty poorly, I think, again
I had a
this
fantasy
year.
draft last night. Dude, I had such a brilliant draft strategy, Andy. We don't need to talk about fantasy football. But I had such a brilliant draft strategy. And what in like the 4th round, maybe, 1 pick before mine, my strategy fucking crumbled. And like it's a whatever, like 15. I don't know how many rounds. Maybe there's 16. Those are long drafts. And I would, dude, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 nailed it. 4 was shaping up perfectly. I was gonna have maybe the greatest fantasy football team ever drafted through 3 rounds. And then 4 just crumbled me.
That always happens.
That 4th round pick just crumbled me.
That always happens. That happened to me last year as well. I mean, I didn't have really a strategy going, but I was like, I know if I can get this guy, I'm probably going to do like pretty well every week. And, it's getting down to it. He's still on the board. I'm like, fuck. I might have him. I've got him pre-selected.
Who won the Sacco last year?
It might have been me actually, but I don't think it was. But I did really bad last year. I totally fell off with it, so I got to try and at least stay focused this time around.
Dude, look up right now. Where can I watch the league? I might start watching the league tonight. Hulu?
Yeah, watch it on Hulu.
Shiva Kamini. So what? How's it go?
No, it's, Shiva Kamini Sofa.
Shiva Kamini Sofa.
All right,
dude, what a banger of a show.
Yeah, that was a funny show.
Yeah.
It doesn't get as rewatched
love.
as like
Yeah.
The Office and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like
What's
kind
the
of
cousin
on
name?
par in a
Rafi?
sense. Yeah, Rafi.
Dude.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
You can't beat him.
You know what? I'm going to make a statement right now. Anybody that's never seen the league needs to go watch the league immediately. Like, you just made a good point. And I know, like, okay, one, it was on FX, right? So it wasn't on NBC. So it probably, at the time, didn't get as much love on the actual air. But, like, there's a lot of dudes just like me out there, you know, that are throwing on The Office and that are throwing on Parks and Rec, that are throwing on, you know, all whatever your show is, Modern Family, How I Met Your Mother, whatever your comedy sitcom is that you're throwing on when you're doing nothing. You know what I mean? Or whatever that current show is. Every dude should be watching the league.
There's so many great jokes in it.
Dude, yeah, it's literally a show based about a fantasy football league of dudes and the one dude's wife. And it's just funny.
Yeah. My favorite is the one where what's that guy? What's his name? Ruxin? When his kid like gets on steroids for Little League. That episode is hilarious.
I forgot about that. Ruxin, the league. Yeah, Ruxin. Nick Kroll plays Ruxin.
Mm-hmm.
Mental note that for who would win of the week.
Ruxin?
Yeah, I think we've done Taco before.
We've done Taco. We've done Rafi as well. I think we did Rafi versus Gary Busey.
Who's the guy that plays? Who's the main character?
I don't know. The guy with the. I feel like there could be two of them. It's either like Mark Dupe.
No, it's
one
Kevin. Stefan.
Steven.
Renazizi.
Renazizi is his name. Yeah, that guy. He's a stand-up comedian.
Pete is Mark Duplass.
Yeah.
Listen to that show. Yeah, that's a great show.
It's a classic. It should
So
definitely
it's
be in the go up there.
Kevin,
for
Pete, Ruxin,
sure.
Andre, and Taco. And then Jenny is Kevin's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophia is Ruxin's wife.
Right.
Damn, Sophia's had a lot of work done, it looks like.
Well,
who's Megan? That's Pete's like
ex.
Yeah. And she also is the bride in Tag, another Unreal movie.
I really liked that movie. I went to the theaters to see that one actually.
I've seen that movie multiple times.
It's a good flick. You know.
All right, want to do Who Would Win of the Week?
Yep, we get into the old Who Would Win. The Who Would Win of the Week this week: Quentin Tarantino versus Christopher Nolan. It's a director showdown.
I need to get on the sticks for this one.
Please, go for it. You know, Quentin Tarantino. Good.
I had to chill.
God, you just get fucking
You ever got a chill?
possessed? Not like that. Quentin Tarantino, his movies are more violent for sure. And, you know, he is definitely like a really animated guy. Like, he gets very angry, very passionate when he's directing. He's also a bit of a weirdo. We know that he is, like, obsessed with feet and stuff like that.
We know that Quentin Tarantino is obsessed with feet?
Yeah, we do know that. And Christopher Nolan, while maybe a little more reserved, he's got a bit of that, like, Peaky Blinders type thing to me. Like, he's got a little bit of that gentleman type thing where, like, maybe he is like British, but he, bare knuckle boxes or something like that. Like, he may be very much so in the vein of speak softly but carry a big stick. Whereas Quentin Tarantino, I'm not saying his stick is small, but he is screaming, waving it around. Whereas Nolan might be a little bit more reserved with it.
Here's what I'll say. I don't know how much Quentin Tarantino is. They're about the same height. How old is Quentin Tarantino?
61.
Where do you see that?
Right there, where it says his age.
61. All right, and that Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan's 53.
Holy shit, Christopher Nolan looks older than 53 to me. But he's British. Maybe they age poorly. And I also wouldn't have guessed Tarantino was 61, though.
Here's my thing. Christopher Nolan's the Avatar guy?
No, that's James Cameron. Chris Nolan's Interstellar, Batman Begins, and shit like that. Tenet. Yep, that's Chris. That's Chrissy. There he is.
This is Christopher Nolan.
Wow, piercing eyes though in that photo.
Oppenheimer.
Yep. What's that other one? Inception.
Sorry, I'm doing my research here live on air. I mean, I know Tarantino's movies, but I gotta get a mental. I gotta get him in front of my face.
Django.
Yeah.
Look at that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I'll be honest with you.
Planet Terror.
What the fuck is Planet Terror?
It's I think he just like wrote it or co-wrote it. It's directed by Robert Rodriguez.
What about Death Proof?
Same situation. Robert Rodriguez one as well.
Great movie. Never seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
Never seen it.
You ever see Kill Bill?
I've never seen Kill Bill. I know.
The first one is
and I
lives
almost
up to the
bet
hype.
you
The
that's
first one
one of
lives
those
up to the
movies
hype.
that people have asked me, like, have you seen Kill Bill? And I've probably been like, yeah. I've never seen it.
The part 2, I was like, whatever. But I think only because the first part was so good.
Dude. I didn't know my boy directed The Dark Knight.
Yeah, man. All of them. All the Bale Batmans. The guy's a blockbuster
All right, so
fanatic.
here's the thing.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan's younger.
Yeah.
Heights don't matter. Dude. I never saw Tenet. Did you?
It was a similar Oppenheimer thing where I watched like the first 20 minutes.
You never saw Oppenheimer?
I watched the first 20 minutes and then I turned it off.
Oh, because you're not a dark movie guy.
I very much wasn't at the time. Like I was saying earlier, I think that switch might be flipped the other way. But my problems with Oppenheimer were I just kind of got
Josh
it.
Peck is in it.
That's kind of why I want to watch it for like Peck for Robert Downey Jr. I really want to see him in that. But the reason I turned it off was because all the editing and stuff, like it was cool or whatever, but I was like, okay, I get it. But the part that really pissed me off was all the people, all the college students like following him while he's on campus, like Professor Oppenheimer, like that shit. I was like, that didn't happen. That's fucking.
Oh, that happened.
No, it didn't.
They were passionate about it because he was starting a communist revolution at an American college.
That's so lame. I didn't like.
It was a big deal.
I thought that was so. I didn't like that at all. I hate. That's a trope in movies that just really gets my gullet. I think I said that wrong.
Like
the only person that makes sense
like in
for
Good Will Hunting, when the girl goes to the party to talk to the professor, but it's homecoming week at MIT, and he's like, "Darling, don't worry about school. Have a drink with me." Like all of a sudden he's a little buzzed. He starts trying to bang a student, and then she's like, "No, somebody solved it." And he's like, "What?" His horniness instantly goes away.
For math,
math, baby.
I
Nothing
only
clears the brain
come
like math.
for math. Yeah. You think? Yeah. No, there's no greater post-nut clarity.
I was gonna say post-math clarity, baby.
Post-trig clarity.
Yeah.
Dude, when I start solving algorithms, it's like, just talk about seeing the face of God.
Yep.
Talk about rubbing your balls on a volleyball.
I'm personally gonna take Christopher Nolan.
I don't know, man. Quentin Tarantino, I do feel like he is a lot of talk, whereas Nolan might be a little more reserved, but then really, pull out some fisticuffs when it comes time for it. But I do think once Quentin Tarantino gets hit in the nose, I think he might just go full spider monkey. start screaming, start flying around, get real wily. And I'm not saying Nolan's not going to be ready for that. You know, it might be that kind of thing where, like, Tarantino is kind of going, what are you going to do? You're going to hit me? Blah, 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 you know, and then Nolan just pops him one, knocks him out right away.
That's my thing. Like, this guy looks a bit like a squirrely fuck, whereas Christopher Nolan looks very put together.
Yeah, right.
And, like, that's the biggest thing for me, not knowing them outside of their movies and what their height and weight is and their age. But, like, he looks like the kind of guy that plans some sick shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, he probably has a manifesto. Yeah, throwing out. Yeah, I was close. Throwing out.
Yeah.
Nolan
looks like an Iron Curtain kind of guy.
Yeah, he's definitely an Iron Curtain kind of guy. Oh, he directed Toy Story.
No, he's just in the news today because he said, I don't know what. It's a slow news day. People are pushing out articles saying how he, because he just said that he refuses to watch Toy Story 4 because Toy Story 1 through 3 is such a perfect trilogy. That's his take.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Which one's 4? Is 4 the one with
Forky? 4's the one with Forky.
I fuck with Forky.
Forky is very funny, but I do think they need to stop milking that franchise because they're making a 5th one. It's already it's already in production.
I'm taking Christopher Nolan. 1.
You know what? I'm sticking with Tarantino. I like him as a director better. I like him as a filmmaker better, and I think that I'm going squirrely. I'm feeling squirrely today.
He looks to me like he could be the Zodiac killer.
He could be Zodiac. I'm taking him. I also rewatched Zodiac. We should talk about that immediately.
All right, well, I'm taking Christopher Nolan.
And I'm taking Tarantino, I think, on this one.
All right, well, lock that in. Split right down the middle, brother. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week?
Okay.
Yes. What were you saying?
Zodiac.
Unreal movie. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes. Holy smokes. I'll tell you what.
Robert Downey Jr. also good in that movie.
Great in that flick. You know,
the basement scene. Was I talking about you with this?
No, but
that's the creepiest scene in that whole movie.
Yeah.
When he goes to try to get the handwriting sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I watched that movie was back when I was taking notes on like every movie that I watched, and one of the things that really struck me at a certain point, especially that scene when Jake Gyllenhaal goes to the prison to talk to that woman who's the sister of like the first victim. You know, he's wearing a blue coat over like a yellow shirt, and there's a lot of significance in those colors because blue is very isolated because obviously at this point he's the only one like going. Mm-hmm. He's pushed his whole family away for this case, and the yellow representing madness because he's absolutely going nuts. If you watch, and upon rewatching that, that's the thing I remembered most about my first watch. Rewatching that, the colors. I'm gonna ruin this movie for everybody, I think, but not in a bad way. The colors blue and yellow are so. I mean, cover that movie. It's impossible once you see it, it's impossible not to notice. So I'm telling you, rewatch Zodiac and just pay attention to all the blue and yellow that's in that movie. And how the things shift because it's actually really well done.
I can honestly say I've never paid attention to a single color that anybody's ever worn in a movie.
Bro, I'm all
except
about
for maybe
colors.
like a superhero movie.
I'm all about colors.
I have no care in the world for colors.
Well, pay attention. There's a part specifically, you know, because there's a couple time jumps in that movie. When he at first, you know, the pillars in the newsroom are all yellow because it's like, oh shit, Zodiac fever, right? And then after like the last big time jump, when it's really just Gyllenhaal, it's the only person who gives a shit about Zodiac now. All those pillars are blue, stuff like that. But dude, how the fuck did they not get that motherfucker? Because it's the bald guy, right? It's the bald guy with it is that dude.
Because that's the guy he handwriting sampled too, right?
Yeah, because he's ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Fuck, I just can't believe they didn't get that guy. Because
what was he
shit
in jail for? Something not good still, right? Wasn't he in? Oh no, he wasn't.
They interviewed him at the factory that he worked at.
That's jail. Yeah.
But man,
he was in jail. When he was in jail is when the killing stopped for a little bit, right? or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that is right. He was definitely, I think he was in prison, but there was definitely something where he was like off the grid for a while and everything stopped. And then they started right up once when he got back on the streets. It's like, fuck, it's so obviously this guy. And then there's that thing at the end where like, you know, we're going to get him. And then the guy had a heart attack in real life. That's what happened. They were on his ass. And he fucking died before they could like get him into court or indict him or whatever the fuck the process is. And like that's something you can't. I mean, if that happened in a movie,
is that actually true?
yeah, that's a true. That's
That's
part
how
of
that
it.
ends?
Yes, that's how the
I think I
whole
did know that
Zodiac
that's how it
story
ends, but now that I think about it, it's like with a montage of words at the end. right?
exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
so many
that's how
words.
you find out that shit.
So they had him though for sure. Because then why do people still say like who was the Zodiac killer? If they had him for sure, then why are we still questioning it?
Because it never happened in court. You know what I'm saying? They never officially
guess.
nailed his ass.
His name would be Mud.
I don't get it.
Like, you know, like the saying, like
No, I don't get it.
Andy,
What do
like
you get?
when you slander somebody, like it turns their name to mud.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now I do.
Wait, name to mud. I gotta.
Oh, you were thinking of Veil of Ignorance, actually.
No.
I don't think they caught him because it was a veil. It was a Veil of Ignorance situation.
So the phrase "your name is mud."
That's a real thing. I kind of
Emily,
like
do you know this phrase?
Your name is Mud.
Isn't it from National Treasure? They reference it.
There is a national treasure component to where I'm
Well-
getting at here.
That solidifies it then. Your name is Mud.
No,
Your
that's
mud.
a saying. Like,
No, I get it.
When like,
Well, I get to like throw dirt on
when, like
somebody's
you have,
name.
yeah,
like,
when you have a
disrespect
bad,
them.
exactly, when you
But
have
I've
a bad
never
reputation,
heard.
your name
But
is
I've never
mud.
heard their name is Mud. I've never heard that said specifically. I get it. It makes sense. But your name is Mud. Oh, what do you got, Emily?
I feel like this has come up multiple times. on this show.
Your name is Mud.
Yeah. And now his name is Mud.
And now your name's Mud. Sorry, tough break.
And then
The
it's a National Treasure.
I don't remember.
I don't
that
know
part
which
either.
one.
Book Secrets.
the it's in Book of Secrets, yes. And the origin of it, according to Nicolas Cage, which I just tried to do a quick Google, and there's nothing that I could see in the first two links I clicked on backed this up. But he said that there's a guy who was named as a co-conspirator to the Lincoln assassination, last name Mudd, and years later he was found to be innocent, but it didn't matter. Like, his reputation was still tarnished. Your name is Mudd.
His name was already Mud, man. Name was already Mud.
Is that what that Matthew McConaughey movie is about?
No.
Lincoln?
No, Mud.
I think that's just about a guy who lives in the mud.
Okay.
And then there's a kid who's like, because everyone's like, everybody in that town is like, stay away from that guy who lives in the mud. And that kid's like, I'm going to see what he's all about.
All right. Last note, and then I'll wrap up the show.
Okay.
So I'm back in Half-Blood Prince. I'm dialed in.
Oh, son
And
of a gun.
I'm getting deep into it.
Okay.
Like I'm over halfway at least. I think I'm on like almost page 400. I think it's somewhere around 600 pages. So much sick stuff happens in that book that doesn't happen in the movie. Like all the stuff about what's Voldemort's mom's name, mom's brother's name, his uncle technically, I guess.
It's
Morven?
Voldemort's middle name. It's Tom Riddle's middle name. It's like Moldova or something. I don't know how to say it.
Dude, like that whole thing about how, like
in the flashback in the pensive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I love that part.
and they do some of that in the movie, like they do when Dumbledore goes to visit him at the orphanage.
Yeah,
but they don't go back to the house when he goes. When they talk about how the house was on the outside of the village, and the sister used a love potion to make, used the one of the unforgettable curses. Which one is it?
Imperio, yeah, the Imperious Curse.
The Imperious Curse to make him love, or whatever the case, and then they have a kid, and then she stops. No, I think it was love potion.
I'm pretty sure it was a love potion.
Because she stops. Or he might say, Dumbledore doesn't know if it was the Imperious Curse or love potion, thinks it was the love potion. And then she stops, and he goes back, and then obviously Tom Riddle comes back, speaks partial tongue, uses his uncle's wand to kill his father and the rest of the family. And then they do show the house, though.
In the movie?
They show Tom Riddle's dad's house. Yes, in the Order of the Phoenix. No. In the Goblet of Fire.
Because that's where he's staying when he's like still a little baby?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought.
Because the gardener still lives there.
Yeah.
And the gardener, yeah.
They get him. They get his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Voldemort gonna get your ass.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to finish the book and then watch the movie. And then obviously one more to go.
Yeah, I'm watching this whole series about like the making of the Harry Potter things now. Vice is like putting it out. It's these icons unearthed things that I've watched
of the movies or the.
I mean, it starts with like some backstory on like how the book was published and things like that, which is cool. But
J.K. Rowling watched Star Wars.
Yeah. Hey man, it's all the hero's journey, dude. It's all that Joseph Campbell stuff, you know, going back to the Greek myths. You know, I mean, Star Wars is Jason and the Argonauts, same as Harry Potter and all that stuff.
Andy, go home, watch your movies for some colors and some Argonauts and shit.
Hell yeah, I'm all about the colors.
I'm gonna watch mine for entertainment purposes only.
That's what you want,
Andy. I only kid. Whatever makes you happy. Hey, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.